I'm gonna bring this up just because it's obviously is me. I do this all the time. And we can go all the way back to the Street Fighter dev thing. Mr. Lee, the developer, the game designer, he is literally a big fan of fighting games. Like it is what it is, right? He loves Monster Hunter. He loves Devil May Cry. He loves fighting games, Street Fighter in particular. And so you can see a lot of his ideas or inspirations are just being dumped into Zenless Zone Zero easily, right? There's so many things that I constantly call out. Other players call out, oh, that's from this game. That's from that game. That's from this game. That looks like that. That's from, it's all over the game. Even Digimon World is slapped into this game, which a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people play Digimon World, so they don't realize some of the references, but Digimon World is all over this game. The Bang Boo is literally a Digimon World system. It's great. Going into 2.0, earlier I saw someone say that they gave it a 7 out of 10, or they would. Low key, 8.5 out of 10. If I had to give it a 9 or a 10, nothing's perfect to me, but because it's not a complete revamp. Actually, I lie. I will say that what Wuwa's 2.0 was like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. It wasn't perfect, but it was close to it. As close that I could get to perfect in some requests without asking for anything. That's what that was. Zenless is like an 8.5. The reason I think it's an 8.5 out of 10 is because I do feel like there were a couple things that they should have addressed, or rather like came out of the gate with, that would have really jumped that 8.5 up by like maybe 1 or even 2 points. Some of the things that I do believe would have been great or more impactful: new training mode or revamped training mode. They constantly tell us practice, learn the game, go use our training facilities, but the training mode is not up to date at all. The training mode is still basically CBT3. And we have no new enemies. Even though we constantly get new enemies, we have no real meter management system that's a part of that. I really want a revamped training mode, and I think a lot of people do too. It would really help them out. You could also include new tutorials. I don't think new character tutorials need to be a thing. I think they need to, once again, fighting games, they need to take the same approach that some modern fighting games have. So modern fighting games have character tutorials where they give you like a very base bone level of understanding the character. Then they have something called combo trials. And so in a fighting game, obviously you're doing combos. But in Zenless, I think they could use the concept of combo trials and then turn this into like, hey, so if you happen to play this team, this is what this team is capable of doing. Or if you're playing this character paired with this character, this might be one of the combos that you want to try out, or this might be a rotation that you want to try out. And if they needed to pair up with theory crafters, pair up with game testers, anything like that. Yeah, Honkai Impact 3rd has it, exactly. So it's not like they're foreign to doing that. They've done it before. Team synergy trials, exactly. There's a lot of things you can do with that concept. I think that would have been great. That would have easily made this like a 9.5 for me, just those two alone. I do think that something that we're missing right now in the game, we do get buff icons. We can see them in the top left corner or the top right corner, depending on like what you're fighting, the enemy, the boss, whatever, or your own characters. But some of these buffs just don't exist. Hormone Punk, there's no way to tell when Hormone Punk is active or not active. Even if they just, hey man, put a little icon on the top left corner to let you know that Hormone Punk is active right now and it's on cooldown. Red arrow up means it's active, blue arrow down means it's on cooldown. Something like that would have been huge because it helps players keep track of what's going on. Still no disc loadout. Yep. I'm not the biggest requester. Like, I don't really need a disc loadout per se. This is for two reasons though. One, I'm always telling people, once you get to a certain point in the game, which is like mid to end game, or not mid to end game, but like middle end game, whatever you want to call it, you should be using or having or building multiple different disc sets for your characters. That's where disc loadouts would come into play. But the pushback that I usually receive is that like, oh man, it's not easy to get disc drives. Disc drives are hard. The gear system is hard and confusing, whatever. Okay, so if there's a loud audience saying that the disc drives are confusing, or they don't even have a full one set for their main DPS of like 2 years, loadouts don't matter at that point, right? Like you can't even use them because you don't even have the first one complete. So I understand them not putting a big focus on loadouts if that is what the loud majority are saying, or the loud minority are saying, right? But I would like disc loadouts. They would be nice. The final thing, or not the final thing, but another thing that I want to talk about that probably would have bumped up 2.0 as a whole, showing off more of the open world, which I mean, we're gonna be able to see it for ourselves anyway, but just getting a little bit more clarity on what that's supposed to do or look like instead of leaving it up in the air would have been very nice to see. And then lastly, that I can think of off the top of my head, one more character should have gotten buffed. I love that Ellen's getting buffed. I think they should have added at least one more of the character. It doesn't have to be a more recent character. It doesn't have to be like Zhu Yuan, for instance, but I think that they, even if it was a standard, buffing Ellen and a standard character would have been huge. If they would have done similar to what they did with Ellen, but then maybe like with Nekomata, and then they would have said like, hey, Nekomata has this, we're going to change this, because there are things in Nekomata's kit that, again, don't matter. We talked about this last stream. The back attacks are a great concept on paper, but when it comes to the actual gameplay, they don't matter. Yeah, or even Coleta, they buffed up older units in terms of changing it so they work with Rapture specialty agents, which we only have one. That's awesome. But at the same time, they could have easily made this a little bit more, and they're giving away the free S ranks as well. They could have easily given us some type of change to that. Unavailable. I don't want to say that it's that easy, but I do feel like it's something they could have been working on for a little bit of time. Like the same time period that they were working on it for Ellen, which we've seen it in Lost Void, right? Let's look at what we already have access to. Jane, Astra, Yanagi. Technically Haramasa has it too, but he's not in Lost Void to play. He just has the ability to do it in Lost Void from like partnering up with the character. Ellen, Billy, and maybe like one other character, right? There's like 6 or 7 characters that have this new whatever it is in Lost Void. Corrin, thank you. Corrin and Billy, exactly. So they already have been testing this for months. It would have been much easier for them to have this concept, which they should have had. That's what I'm saying. They should have already had the concept of buffing standard characters into the game. Adding Nekomata or Soldier 11 or whatever into the Lost Void, you know, moveset changes would have been great. The application is the problem. How so? This might actually be a really good convo. Like, what do you mean it would be problematic to apply it? Because right now, Ellen about to be fucked up. I'm telling y'all that right now. If you happen to own, like, don't go pull Ellen. If you don't already own Ellen, don't go pull Ellen unless you really want Ellen. I'm not saying that because she's bad. The reason I'm saying that is because there are a couple of different things that make Ellen what she is now. This new change is about to make it even more fucked up. You have to balance the mobs, the bosses, and future characters in the meta. I think you don't have to do that. Like, normally, I agree with you that you would have to rebalance everything. But again, let's take Ellen into consideration. I guarantee you they didn't rebalance the entire game around Ellen's new changes. Because if you rebalanced everything around the specific Ellen changes that she has, let's go back to it real quick. And we can kind of like look at it together, right? If we go back and find the Ellen change, yeah? Let's look at this real quick, right? Icy Blade. This is normally 40% defense reduction. They released Vivian. Vivian isn't rebalancing anything around Ellen. The kit that they just gave Ellen, I'm telling you, is fucked up. This makes Ellen minimum tier 0.5. Basically, okay, put it this way. If I had to give you a 1-to-1 so that it's a very clear line of the damage difference or like the potential, Miyabi is at the top because she can do both, right? She does everything in the game. Offensive wise, she has a lot of evasive maneuvers, right? Miyabi is up there. Boom, tier 0, inarguable. Ellen, off rip with this new kit, minimum tier 0.5, like minimum. She does not drop any lower than tier 0.5 unless they fuck up the game. If she doesn't have defense shred, it's pointless for her to have this move. But this move already exists in the game. So instead of let's go with like whataboutism, let's go with what currently already exists in the game. You build up a crazy ton anomaly off of this move. You get the defense shred. You immediately go into one of these moves here, as you're going to see, right? Flash freeze timing, all the skills damage increases by 100%. You immediately go into an increased crit damage. You get a 30% increase of just raw ice damage on top of whatever else you have from your team. This is insane. Then this isn't, that's why I said, like, if this was the only thing they gave her, Ellen would probably still be tier 0.5, but you would have to still know how to play her. Like, she wouldn't just be a free tier 0.5, but she definitely wouldn't be tier 2. Now they're giving her, let me see if we can get to where the new move is. That move, this glacial ice blade, glacial wave blade, whatever it's called. This is a brand new move that we've never seen in the game before. But just looking at this, again, crazy anomaly buildup and damage. All of her self boost are applied to every single new thing she has in the game. She is completely what it looks like. I don't want to state this as a definite, but just looking at frames, she is fully invulnerable during this move. We just don't know if it's an EX special or not. It looks like some type of follow-up move. Maybe you can do it on command. I'm not entirely too sure. Ellen's going to be cracked. With that being the case, there's no way they rebalance the game around Ellen. out of all units. Again, if you rebalanced it around her specifically, like her buffs, everyone else is affected and they automatically would go down in tiers. They're just raising the ground for those from the ground. They can't release buffs for 2 units at the same time because they'd actually have to balance for the new releases and the new mobs. That's why I'm saying you could have easily done this. When I say easily, I mean this is something that you already planned for. 2.0, the changes to Ellen, this wasn't something they like shitted out of their ass last week. This is something that they've been planning for a bit. Me and what I'm saying personally is that it would have been more positively received if they buffed a standard unit as well. And the reason that I'm saying this is because 1, not everybody pulled Ellen. 2, people still don't like Ellen because Miyabi exists and they're still gonna say, but Miyabi, but Miyabi. And then 3, you're giving away a free standard character with the W engine. The best play they should have made would have been, hey, we're also buffing, not even just Ellen, we're also buffing Nekomata. We're also buffing Lycan, who, you know, is recently gotten crazy with the Hugo. Lycan works with Ellen. Like, you buff something in tandem with Ellen so that it encourages players to do a thing that you want them to do. Shit, well, I already have Ellen, but I don't have Lycan. Lycan got a big buff. Now he does DPS. I'm going to use my free pull on Lycan. I'm going to get whatever W engine I want, and I'm going to benefit from Ellen. Oh, now I don't need Hugo, and I don't feel as bad for skipping Hugo for Ijuan. Now I can get Ijuan. I can use my old ice DPS. I can keep up with the meta now. And for the foreseeable future, my Ellen is just going to get buffed. And now if I get lucky with my pulls, I can also get Jafufu and use her with Ellen as well. Like, you do things in tandem. I understand like the coding behind it and the practices behind the game design. There's nothing to rebalance. Like, the balancing part isn't going to be a hard stop for what's going on. I didn't mean to hit my mic right there. That wouldn't be a hard stop for what's going on. What would have been a hard stop is it just doesn't work. Yeah, that would have been a hard stop. And yeah, I understand they're doing it one at a time. It should not have been one at a time. It's not a great thing to do that because of the reception that it's gonna have. The reception is right now, anyone that already has Ellen, this is amazing for me. Anyone that's already invested in Ellen, that's amazing for me. But for someone who doesn't have Ellen, it ain't like she's on a rerun. So like, we just had the rerun, right? No one pulled her because they had the opportunity to get Miyabi or some shit. They're buffing a character that players don't, 1, give a fuck about, and 2, don't own. If they would have at least added 1 standard character, even if they said Billy was getting a buff, even if they added him just to launch the old characters get buffed program, it would be received significantly better. I guarantee you what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing a bunch of crap about like, why are they buffing Ellen? No one gives a fuck about Ellen, bro. Blah, 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 blah. Why is no one even owns that? You're going to see it. I'm telling you now, that's the reception that's going to be had. This is a great change. Again, I love it, but PR wise, they should have done 2. At least launch with 2, then do 1 at a time. 100%. They should have launched with 2. Okay, and it's not 40%, guys. It's 30%. But okay, I'm looking. Yo, shout out to Nyx. He's got the thing from Hollow Zero. I'm gonna read out the Blade of Frost, Icy Blade. The 3rd move of her basic attack, EX special attack, Dark Nami, dodge counter, or quick assist or assist follow up. The move right after that will trigger Icy Blade. There's new Ellen animations on Twitter. That icy whatever is in here. So let me look at this. Ellen has a parry now. I'm unavailable. I'm telling you, there's no way they rebalance around this character. She is minimum tier 0.5 now. It's a good day to be an Ellen main, bro. It's a damn good day to be an Ellen main, dog. I'm telling you, dog. So listen, now her scissor blade has a fucking parry. No more complaining about getting hit and whatever else. Parry the motherfucker. Play better, right? Boom. She still has her dodge mechanics, which is great. And then now we're gonna see it come up here. There's another parry right there. Here's the thing that's very important to pay attention to. Remember how I said, I don't know if this is going to be an EX special or not? It does not look like an EX special. The claw move that she does looks like a follow-up. She's doing it as soon as Scissor Blade is done, the charge attack, glaive, immediately. And you guys know what it looks like when they have the dodge counter, yeah? The screen dims out. Pay attention to the screen. You see it dimming out? She's got iframes on it. This can potentially, and I say potentially because I need to be able to confirm it, this also probably triggers a fucking perfect dodge. Actually, nope, I'm right. I'm right. The purple orb was what triggered it. I saw it right there at the bottom. The purple orb coming towards her is what triggered her perfect dodge. She gets a perfect dodge. And then she goes straight into the attack. Yo, it's a damn good day to be an Ellen main, chat. It's a damn good day to be a fucking Ellen main. Holy fork, man. This is why the patch is great for me. This is why the patch is great for me.